From fans flashing players to rats being thrown on the court, these are the 20 wildest moments in tennis history. First up, a match that no one can forget. Rafael Nadal versus Roger Federer at the 2008 Wimbledon final. The game went on for nearly 5 hours and ended in near darkness, with Nadal finally winning. That is wild. But for number 19,
I don't know if it's a dream or not, if I'm gonna wake up and then somebody's gonna tell me you didn't win Wimbledon again. You know, to serve for the match, suddenly I have a match point out of nowhere, you know, I came here.
we have Goran Ivanišević's fairy tale comeback at the 2001 Wimbledon. He was a wild card entry and managed to win the entire tournament, making history as the first wild card to do so. Talk about an underdog story. Next at number 18 is the infamous Battle of the Sexes in 1973. Billie Jean King took on Bobby Riggs and won in straight sets, proving that women could compete with men. This match drew 50 million American viewers, making it the most watched tennis match ever. At number 17, we have Jimmy Connors' epic comeback against Michael Pernfors in the 1987 Wimbledon fourth round. Connors was down 2 sets and facing defeat, but rallied to win in 5 sets. The crowd went wild. For number 16, let's talk about the 1999 French Open, where Andre Agassi made a stunning comeback against Andre Medvedev. Agassi was down 2 sets but fought back to win his first and only French Open title, completing his career Grand Slam. But for number 15, one player got to fulfill a lifetime goal. In the 2001 Wimbledon tournament, Goran Ivanišević, facing injury and defeat, became the first wildcard in history to win the prestigious event. Already considered one of Croatia's greatest sportsmen, Ivanišević cemented his national hero status with this historic underdog victory. For number 14, we go back to 1969 at Wimbledon. Pancho Gonzalez, at 41 years old, faced 25-year-old Charlie Pasarell in what became the most famous first-round match ever played on center court. Over 2 days, Gonzalez saved 7 match points in the 5th set, holding on twice from 0 to 40, and finally won in 5 hours and 12 minutes. Number 13 takes us to the 1993 Roland Garros quarterfinal. Mary Jo Fernandez faced Gabriela Sabatini. Sabatini rolled through the opening set and surged to match point at 5-1 in the second set. The Argentinian had 4 more match points, but Fernandez made one of the most spirited comebacks ever witnessed in women's tennis, winning in 3 hours and 34 exhilarating minutes. At number 12, we have the 1987 Wimbledon fourth round. Jimmy Connors, in the twilight of his career, was in a precarious corner against Michael Pernfors. Pernfors captured 16 of the first 19 games, closing in on a rout. But spurred on by an appreciative audience, the 34-year-old American rekindled his game and celebrated his greatest Wimbledon revival. Number 11 is the 1989 Roland Garros. At 17, Michael Chang made history on the Parisian clay. In the fourth round, Chang overcame severe cramps and a 2-set deficit to topple Ivan Lendl. In the final, he valiantly stopped Stefan Edberg in 5 sets, becoming the youngest ever male French Open champion. For number 10, we look at the 1999 US Open. Serena Williams, appearing in only her 7th Grand Slam tournament, had never been beyond the 4th round. But she believed in herself, recouping from 3-5 down in the final set to beat Kim Clijsters before powering past top-seeded players to claim her breakthrough major. Number 9 takes us to the 2022 Australian Open. Ashley Barty ended a 44-year drought of homegrown women's champions, becoming the first Australian woman since Chris O'Neill in 1978 to win the singles championship without dropping a set. Number 8 is the 2001 French Open Brazilian Gustavo Guga Kuerten. A 2-time French Open champion, showed his love for tennis when he drew a heart in the clay with his racket after coming back from 2 sets down to win his 4th round match. Now let's talk about number 7, Loud Sex Interrupts Sarasota Open. Imagine you're watching a tennis match between Francis Tiafoe and Mitchell Kruger, and suddenly the whole stadium is filled with loud sex noises. Yep, that's exactly what happened at the Sarasota Open. Broadcaster Mike Cation initially thought someone was playing a porn video in the stands, but later realized the sounds were coming from a nearby apartment. Both players couldn't help but laugh, and TFO even shouted, "It can't be that good." The crowd was in stitches, and the match had to be paused for a bit. Cation later tweeted, "Sounds like you guys had a good time. Talk about an unexpected interruption." At number 6, we have Stefan Edberg's killer ace. Now, Edberg was never known for his powerful serves, but during the boys' singles final against Simon Yule, he hit an ace that tragically struck linesman Richard Wertheim in the groin. The impact caused Wertheim to fall off his chair and hit his head on the hard surface, rendering him unconscious. Sadly, Wertheim later died from his injuries. This incident is one of the most shocking moments in tennis history, and serves as a grim reminder of how unpredictable the sport can be. Edberg, who went on to have a successful career, was deeply affected by the incident. Coming in at number 5 is the Monica Seles stabbing. On April 30th, 1993, during a quarterfinal match in Hamburg, Germany, Seles was stabbed in the back by a crazed fan of her rival, Steffi Graf. The attacker, Günther Parch, wanted to see Graf regain her number 1 ranking. Seles was rushed to the hospital, and although her physical injuries healed in weeks, she stayed away from competitive tennis for over 2 years. The attack led to increased security measures at tennis events, but Seles never felt safe playing in Germany again. She eventually returned to the sport and won another Grand Slam, but the incident left a lasting effect on her career and mental health. At number 4, we have Serena Williams' outburst at the 2018 US Open. During the final against Naomi Osaka, Serena was penalized for receiving coaching from the sidelines, which she denied. Frustrated, she smashed her racket and called the umpire a thief, leading to a game penalty. The crowd was shocked, and the incidents overshadowed Osaka's victory. Serena demanded an apology from the umpire, but the damage was done. The event sparked debates about sexism in tennis and how female players are treated differently. Despite the controversy, Osaka's win marked a significant moment in tennis history, as she became the first Japanese player to win a Grand Slam. Cause at number 3, we have John McEnroe's epic meltdown at the 1990 Australian Open. This guy was known for his fiery temper, but what he did during his 4th-round match against Michael Pernfors was next level. McEnroe was already a legend with 3 Wimbledon and 4 US Open titles under his belt. But on January 21st, 1990, he became infamous for something else. He got so mad that he started swearing at the umpire, supervisor, and referee. It all started when he thought a lineswoman made a bad call. He glared at her while bouncing a ball on his racket, which earned him a conduct code violation. Things went downhill from there. He smashed his racket twice, swore loudly, and even told a supervisor to go F your mother. The crowd of 15,000 was stunned when the umpire finally said, "Default Mr. McEnroe, game, set, match." It was the first time since 1963 that someone got disqualified from a Grand Slam for misconduct. McEnroe later said he didn't know the rules had changed to a 3-step process for defaulting a player. Talk about a wild moment. Next up at number 2 is Thiago Seyboth-Wild's meltdown at the 2023 Roland Garros. This young Brazilian player had a lot going for him, especially after beating world number 2 Daniil Medvedev. But things took a dark turn. During his match against Yoshihito Nishioka, Seyboth-Wild showed flashes of brilliance but also a lot of anger. He shouted at himself, protested calls, and even smashed his racket. But the real drama was off the court. Seyboth-Wild was facing serious accusations of domestic violence from his ex-partner, Thayane Lima. She later claimed he was extremely violent, even twisting her finger under the table during a dinner with her parents. To make matters worse, WhatsApp messages revealed that Seyboth-Wild's family had Nazi ties, and he admitted it in those texts. Despite all this, he avoided talking to the press, leaving many questions unanswered. His career might be taking off, but he's got a lot of issues to deal with. And at number 1, we have Serena Williams' alleged drunk antics at Wimbledon. Now, Serena is a tennis icon with 23 Grand Slam titles, but in 2014 she found herself in a bizarre situation. During a doubles match with her sister Venus, Serena seemed completely out of it. She could barely hit the ball and looked all disoriented. People started speculating that she was either drunk, on drugs, or even pregnant. Serena later denied all those claims, saying she wasn't drinking, on drugs, or pregnant. She told Sports Illustrated that she had a viral illness and should never have played that day. Despite being tested more frequently than any other player, Serena had never tested positive for any illegal substance. But that day at Wimbledon remains one of the most puzzling and talked about moments in tennis history.